guys, it's Victoria back with another spoiler-free movie reaction. And today we have Jeffrey back here today after we saw the movie we needed to see, which I'm sure you have saw our pre-movie reaction, or I basically labeled it movie pre-reaction. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. But now, as of today, we are here to full-on talk about our thoughts and views on Dune Part 2. Yeah! So let's just dive right into it, shall we? So, directed by Denis Villeneuve, starring Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Josh Brolin, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, Dave Bautista, hopefully I said his name right, Dave Bautista, got it, and Stellan Skarsgård, Christopher Walken, and Javier Bardem. Let's talk about the story, which basically, in all, is in continuation of Dune Part 1. The film follows Paul Atreides, hopefully I'm saying his last name right, forgive me if I didn't, and his mother, Lady Jessica, as they adjust to living their new lives with the Fremen, you know who I'm talking, you know who we're talking about.
The people of the sand.
Exactly. And they join forces with them as well as with Shani, played by Zendaya, as they try to help him get revenge against the Harkonnens and any other conspirators who have caused the deaths of his family.
It's true.
So let's start there. So what did you think about the story, Jeffrey?
Well, let's see. I mean, it's definitely an interesting take of, it was like Hamlet in space.
Yeah, pretty much. However, I can decipher some things about that, but I will not do that here in this video. That would take forever. But either way, I also thought that it was a pretty good story, or at least a pretty good continuation of the first movie. And also it's almost so tragic. It's not almost, it is tragic. And yet trying to find the bright spots in the film, it's like there are definitely moments of a moment where you can just breathe and enjoy anything good that is going on, but majority of the time it is all about the conflict, the struggle, and the just basically trying to make a certain prophecy be what they hope for it to be. But at the same time, we also, if anybody has read the books or anybody has any better insight into Dune than just the film, we already know where this is heading in a way. Whether it's good or bad, we don't know yet. We have to wait and see as Part 3 comes out, which hopefully it will come out sooner rather than later.
Another 3 more years, it'll be fine. You can wait.
Okay, yeah.
At least if it's good quality, it's worth the wait, right?
I'm gonna be old by then.
Oh my God.
I'll just be resting here like, okay, is it here yet?
Alright, you heard that. If she doesn't get the movie soon, the desert sands will take her away.
But either way, but also I felt like there was a very, how can I say, I feel like it's going somewhat in a direction where the book has basically planned out for it to go, but I also feel like there is some other surprises coming up. But then again, I just read the first book, so I can't say what it is like in the second or third yet. But either way, we'll see when it comes. And
yeah, that's the fun part, seeing how close to the book they stay, right?
Oh, yes, but also it's okay if it's not completely the book itself, because that book is huge. It's like, oh God, we only have so much time for so much info. But either way, so let's talk about the characters now, shall we? And first and foremost, we have to start with Paul Atreides, the now Duke, he was future Duke in part 1, but now Duke of the House of Atreides, now that his poor father, Duke Leto, is now dead. May his soul rest in peace.
And he's fine.
Oh my God, I did that wrong. May his soul rest in peace. There you go. And so now in this film, of course, you know he's played by Timothée Chalamet, the talented, very talented Timothy. And so in this film, he is going through not just an external journey, he's going through a personal journey of his own in his quest for revenge to basically find out who, not only to get revenge against the Harkonnens, but also to figure out who else was involved in the killing spree of his people, his family. So he's dealing with a lot in this film right now, but now he and his mother, Lady Jessica, who also survived from the last film, and who was the mistress / lover to his father. Yeah, so very interesting family right there. Now they're staying with the Fremen, who is led by Javier Bardem's character, who was...
Oh, she's trying to quiz me. Stilgar, I think.
Stilgar, okay. And so, and also, Paul is intertwined, or how should I better say?
It's connected.
Yeah, has a love or romantic connection with Shani, played by Zendaya. And so it is really getting kind of deep. And also, as he's adjusting to living with the Fremen, he's also trying to figure out how to get revenge. So they are willing to help him out with that. So, as far as we know, with his mother, we can't forget this, his mother Jessica, which pretty much, okay, I'll say a little spoiler, but it's not a huge spoiler with this. His mother, Lady Jessica, played by Rebecca Ferguson, is now pregnant. So,
but you already knew that from the first movie.
Okay, well, there you have it. So then it wasn't a spoiler. Thank you, Jeffrey. And so she is dealing with that while also trying to support her son, who is trying to get revenge, even though she knows that his father would not be agreeing to the idea of getting revenge. So, well, there you have it. There's the Hamlet vibes right there. And who else is in the film? We have... Okay, so now we can finally talk about Shani, who was introduced to us near the end, almost near the end of the first film, part 1. And now she is a full-on character in this film. So we get to see Zendaya play her and all her acting talent. I won't say glory, but definitely in all her acting abilities that she brings to characters. And of course, you would know her from films, if not any Disney Channel shows you may know. She has been in Euphoria. She was in the Spider-Man films, like Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and you get the point.
Basically, she's one of the few Z-named people you know in this world.
Yes.
Unless you live under a rock.
Exactly. And she is definitely a very, how can I say, youthful and beautiful young woman. I don't know why I'm putting that out there, but I guess it's because I just admire her style.
Okay, you heard it here first. Victoria admires her style, so...
Yeah, I do.
Yes, be expecting a red carpet fashion analysis video from her someday.
Okay, and who's next on the list? Okay, let's see. Josh Brolin's character, who in the first film, he was basically and still is a mentor to Paul when it comes to his fighting skills, and also he was the military leader for the House of Atreides until they were obliterated. But I wish I could say I know his name right now. It. Okay, Jeffrey, you can't help me out on this one. Okay, never mind. I'm
No,
just,
it's old
Halleck?
man.
Okay, yes, that's how. That's what Paul refers to him as in the films. But I think his name was Halleck. But if I'm wrong, I apologize.
If Victoria's wrong, that's fine. Just replace it with Colonel Thanos, and it's good. That's good enough.
Oh yeah, that's right, Thanos. The snap, and never mind. But either way, and so he's back in the film, and of course he is helping Paul out as well, and he is pretty much just doing what he has done in the first film. He's just there to help win this war against the Harkonnens and who knows who else or what else.
You have to watch.
Yeah. And what other character can we talk about? Let's see. Well, we really haven't gotten into Harvey or Bardem, so since you know a little bit about him, what did you think about his character in the film?
Well, I thought about he is kind of his people of the sand daddy, and he's like, here, let me show you the ways of our people, and then, you know, I believe in you so much, my adopted sand son, so...
And he believes in the prophecy, right?
Yes, yes. He does believe, because remember, again, Paul is said to be this kind of like savior or the chosen one. So
is it the, how can I say, the Kiwasat's Hederic? I'm sorry, I'm trying, y'all.
Anyways, the chosen one. The savior, the chosen one, the special guy. So he believes he's like...
He Luke Skywalker.
He's like, I will train you and teach you in the ways, my special, adopted son of the sand. So, yeah, and then that's kind of what happens. And then he becomes not only his, like, teacher, but also kind of his follower, so...
Oh, and... Wait a minute, I said that he was Luke Skywalker. I'm sort of in between. Is he Luke Skywalker or Anakin Skywalker? Because it seems like he has those aspects to him. But never mind. I'm sorry. The comparison is coming up way too much with these films. Star Wars, Dune, and I guess we know why. Because we know that George Lucas got inspiration from those books, and I'm sure other things as well, but definitely from that book. I mean,
if it's good stuff, you will be inspired, so...
Of course.
What else we got, Victoria? Who else is on our list?
Okay, let's see, Vladimir Harkonnen. Let's get to him, played by the very long time, almost like veteran actor, Stellan Skarsgård.
Yep, it's Daddy Skarsgård.
Yep, the father to Bill Skarsgård, who was in It as Pennywise, and also to Alexander Skarsgård, who was in so many things, The Northman, Straw Dogs, and you get the point.
Lady
and also
Gaga's music video. You if you know him, you know him.
Oh yes. And he had another son, didn't he? But I'm sorry if I'm forgetting the other son's name, but I do know that he was in the Vikings.
Okay, well,
the show's
if
Vikings.
There's the third son, oops, sorry, we forgot you. Just like I bet you didn't know, there's a third Hemsworth brother. Most people don't realize that. Most people don't realize that.
Okay, but yeah, so Vladimir Harkonnen, who pretty much is very much like a dictator, if anything. And I think you can guess why we put it that way, but he is the Baron of the House of Harkonnen, and he has two nephews in this movie. One played by Dave Bautista. Oh my!
One played by Drax. Anyway.
One played by Dave Bautista.
Moving on. And who is the other one played by?
Austin Butler. And what was his character's name? Fade?
The fake route something.
What?
Bald scary guy. That's what his name was. Bald scary guy.
Yeah, good way of putting it. And he is the heir. Austin Butler's character is the heir to the Harkonnen throne. Interesting, seeing that he's the youngest nephew. So that really is a backhand to his oldest nephew.
I mean, but you gotta get the job done. And so whichever one gets the job done is the one.
Oh, okay. You just better hope that he doesn't turn into Scar. Or actually, yeah, you better hope he doesn't turn into Scar.
Okay, wait, are we now getting to Lion King? Is that what that is?
A little bit.
Okay, just because we talked about him. Okay, anyways.
But, anyways. So he has his nephews, and they are trying to figure out how to obliterate the last of the Atreides, Paul and Lady Jessica, before they come and take revenge on them and kill all of them, which he knows is what's coming.
Right, but they don't realize it right away that they're still alive, by the way.
Yeah, true. So, but either way, that's their issue. That's their big issue in the film.
Other than lack of hair, but that's a whole different issue already.
However, Austin Butler without hair, it was like, yeah, he looked scary, but he also looked kind of fine. If you're not scared of him.
So, if you've been following along with your celebrity bingo, make sure you put check mark for Zendaya and check mark for Austin Butler.
Oh yeah.
Apparently.
Okay. Who else is in there? We have. Who else do we have? We have other characters.
What about the Emperor dude?
Oh, Christopher Walken. Yeah, we definitely need to get to him. And of course, Christopher Walken is definitely a longtime actor as well. I'm sure you've seen him in many things. Was he King Louie in the Jungle Book, the live action Disney Jungle Book?
How would I know?
Okay,
I just know that he was in that NBC Peter Pan that was...
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was that. And he was also in The Country Bears.
Why do you keep bringing up these movies that have to do with bears?
I don't know. That's what came to mind.
Anyways, been around in the industry for a while. You know him. If you know him, you know him.
Yeah, I'm not giving his best work here. I'm just giving all these works that kind of like was on the side of his work, but he's a great actor. Let's just say that. But either way. So yeah, his character, the Emperor Shaddam,
Emperor
the
important
fourth.
guy.
Yeah, he's the Padish.
Anyways,
Padishah Emperor.
VIP leader. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm just gonna have to come up with nicknames for all of them.
Sorry, y'all. This is just getting crazy.
She's trying real hard.
But either way, yeah, he's the emperor and the father to Princess Irulan.
Princess Smarty Pants, okay? That's what you need to know. Princess Smarty Pants.
Oh yeah, she's very smart. And played by the lovely Florence Pugh, which I was so happy to see her in when they announced that she was going to be playing this character. I was anticipating seeing what she was going to do with this character. I am happy to report that I was not disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, she goes from being super secret killer spy to super quiet, smart princess lady.
Oh yeah, but there's something that happens with her character and that I will not say, but I really felt for her character and a certain other character in this film. But either way, yeah, keep laughing, Jeffrey. I know you don't think it's a big deal.
I know what she's talking about, and you will too once you watch it.
Yeah. So, and then who else do we have? I think we went through everybody, or at least the important characters.
I mean, if there was one we missed, sorry. I guess you weren't
apologize.
important enough to remember. Oops.
We
right
apologize.
Now.
All right.
Yeah. They're there. You'll see them.
Yeah, you'll definitely see them. Let's talk about the themes in this film, because to be honest, if you read the books, there is a whole lot of themes in this film, but we're going to try to stick to the ones that basically matter towards this film. So, as far as themes go, I would say And Jeffrey, help me out with this. The themes in this film would be along the lines of, like, first and foremost, revenge. Vengeance is definitely a big theme in this film.
Yeah, because he's a tiny emo boy, so it's okay.
Oh, because of the dark hair?
Well, I mean, just like Broody, he's only 1 second away from saying, "I'm Batman."
But however, there is also something that to be gained from that, but also something to lose from that. And so they do kind of explore both ends of that in this film, although they explore more of what to gain from it. But I'm sure the negative aspects will come a little bit more in part 3. I don't know. We'll see. And then there's also, what themes did you see in this, Jeffrey?
Well, we definitely see, themes of power struggle is in there, and just the kind of foundations or the kind of factors that are at play or at risk when things are just kind of hanging in the balance kind of precariously when there's, some sort of throne or ultimate long-term goal to get to in terms of power. So, yeah.
Definitely. And also, there's kind of a thing about, like, setting your personal morals aside in order to gain something, whether it be politically or gain something just, like, out of revenge, or just gaining something in return that will definitely put you up in the power structure of it all. And how that can be quite... You may see it as a good thing before you get there or when you first get in it, but that also can not be such a good thing when you think about it. And also, it shows some of that as well in this film, that it doesn't look like it's going down a good path in a way as you go along. But either way, it still is empowering in the moment. Let's just leave it at that. And what other themes did they have? Let's see.
I mean, there was, like, kind of the manifesting of destiny.
Oh, yes.
And, like, the pull between fate and,
free will.
Yeah, self. So we see that come up in terms of how at one point Paul kind of doesn't want to be the special one, the chosen one, and kind of wants the people of the Sand, the Fremen, to just kind of...
And Shawnee.
to kind of figure things out and kind of work towards their goal themselves, instead of relying on a special person, especially that they think is him.
Exactly. Because they want so badly for it to be him, but yet for him, it's like, why are you guys trying to put that on me? But at the same time, he's sort of, I won't say, but I think there may be a point where he is eventually going to embrace it because it's been put on him for so long.
Right, at which point maybe he'll come to a crossroads and be forced to go down a path that he didn't initially want to be on. Right.
But either way, yeah, those are pretty much the themes, and I'm sure there's some others that we're not hitting on right now, but we gave you the main ones.
Oh, right, and then Victoria, you mentioned earlier about a religion as being an influence.
A big influence.
Towards certain directions.
Getting power or just having backing behind you as you do what you do, and how dangerous that can be.
Right, and then you'll see when you watch the movie how that also ties into manifesting a certain destiny.
Man, this movie gets deep, don't it?
I mean, I don't think it's gonna show up in your Philosophy 101 class, but maybe it'll stir some conversations. All right, so Victoria, what were you just telling me about the cinematography?
Oh, I was telling you that the cinematography was definitely amazing. It was nothing. I'm so used to seeing movies that involve being in a desert or involving sand to be so bland and just so, like, okay, we're here in the desert, but in this movie, as well as in parts of the first film, it shows how the desert is more than just what it appears to be. It's more than just a landscape. It is almost like a, how can I say, I won't say a way of life because that would sound weird, but it's kind of like its own world. It's like there is so much going on within it that it's like when things happen, it's like it feels like it's a part of the environmental structure of it all. It feels natural, and it feels like how you would think about like the ocean or think about the mountains or like volcanoes. It feels like it makes sense that it is, things are happening the way it's happening within that world. And the world is so big and so vast. It's just like, and so when the camera looks upon like certain characters and whatnot, you feel like these characters are just in this big landscape with this massive space. And then when it is centered on the characters, you see that the camera is basically trying to focus in on what is going on in the moment more so than what's going on around the character. But when things start happening, when battles start happening, when the desert worms appear or anything like that, you get a ride from it. You are like just in it, like as if you're almost kind of like in virtual reality to me in a way. That's how I would describe it. But what did you think about it?
Okay. Well, the cinematography, yeah, it could be very easy for a lot of desert to become very boring quickly, because of course most of the movie takes place in all this sand and dunes and deserts. We see very little non-sand desert dune, though you do get some stuff that is not that. But the ability to keep that very interesting despite it being a lot of that, it's very hard to do that well, and I think they do it well. And as Victoria kind of alluded to, I think just the way they film it makes the world feel like a character itself too. So yes.
Truly. So I say very good work, and definitely work to, how can I say, it is good work that should be seen at the theater. Especially in IMAX.
Yes, we did not see it in IMAX, but I can imagine it would look very fantastic. So, yes. Speaking of fantastic things, tell us, Victoria, about, you were bedazzled earlier by Zendaya's looks on red carpets. Tell us about the outfits and the costumes in this movie.
The costumes I thought were very, okay, some of them I thought were pretty much the ones that were brought in from the last film because, hello, it's a desert and they're wearing outfits suited for being in the desert. But I felt like they still showed kind of like, you could get a little analytical with them. Like, there are some outfits in here worn by, like, the princess, and also outfits worn by the Freeman, where you kind of get what kind of people they are by how they dress. Like, are they simple people? Are they simple folk that just do what they do to survive? Or are these thriving people in power, and how they kind of, like, guard themselves in a way, or kind of like show some sense of, like, how can I say, security. Like, they definitely have them. It definitely shows that they have the money if their outfits are very nice looking, and it also shows that they have the security based on how the material that is on the outfits in a way, while other characters are basically like people of the sand or people of the Atreides or former Atreides, which looks more darker type of outfits and not like how they were in the first film. Yeah, they were a little bit dark in the first film, but it feels like it's kind of like a faded darkness to them. Did you notice anything about the costumes, or?
I mean, I think you make a great point about how, looking at the costumes, they do a good job to support who these characters are, and, you're able to kind of get a feel for the background or the position or station that this character is. I mean, so, because that's what a good costume design should do, is just be able to, from a visual standpoint, tell you something about this character without having to say it out loud.
Yeah.
So I think they did a very good job with that. And the clothes they wear, some of it feels a little futuristic, but then some of it is, you know, things that wouldn't be too surprising in real life for the kind of situation or place they are. Like, you know, the kind of wear that they have for living in the desert. You'd be like, okay, I could buy that being kind of what people would wear.
It's comfortable.
So, yeah, in terms of outfits, like nothing particular stands out, but yeah, I do think the way they're dressed really helps support their characters and their mission and just
Who they are.
The way the movie is structured.
Definitely. So let's talk about the sound design in this film. Jeffrey, what did you think about the sound design? Did you feel like it was up to par, or?
I mean, it's not a Christopher Nolan movie, that much for sure. I mean, I think I hear a lot about how Nolan's movies, the sound design is hard to hear. The sounds are hard to hear sometimes. But I think it's very effective for a sci-fi space movie. I like how in the desert we have, you know, these moments of stillness and quiet, and then we have big explosive moments. So that's a good contrast.
Definitely. And I'm sorry, I just can't get over it. Seems like they do this in a lot of desert-like films, have that voice in the background that's kind of like, it's like,
oh my gosh. Hire Victoria for your next sand movie and she will do this for you.
And I'm like, don't you ever notice that sound is almost like an...
I mean, yes. Are there some sort of, could maybe one say ethnic leaning, or just kind of some sort of grounded, earthy, maybe some might even say tribal, kind of to some sense, kind of audio going on here? Yeah. But I mean, that's a Hollywood pattern. What can I say?
Pretty much. But either way, I would say the sound design is pretty good. I thought it fit well with this film, and it wasn't too flashy. And now let's get into, since we talked about the sound, let's talk about the score in this film.
Music.
Oh yes, the music by Hans Zimmer, I'm sure you have heard his music in many other films. He has done so many films. Definitely The Lion King. I know he did music for The Lion King because I'm a big fan of The Lion King, so there you have it. But I'm sure he's also done music for many other things, like, let's see, did he do one for Christopher Nolan at one point?
Probably,
And
I'm pretty sure.
He did a lot. I'm just going to say that. If I was to give you a list of how many movies he has done music scores for, you know what it would look like? Whoop! That's what it would look like.
There's probably a good chance you've seen a movie that he did a score for. So
yeah.
So, but what about the score to you, Victoria, that was so appealing or caught your attention?
I liked it because I felt like it matched up with what was going on in each scene. You know how music composition can go well with what's going on in a scene if you use it correctly. And I feel like this definitely was an example of using music composition in the best way, because it was just like when things were getting tense, you felt the tensity, whether the music was heightened or even just low at points. And also when things were going on in the desert, like exciting things, you felt that rise within the music as the scene was going on. And I could go on forever, but I'm just going to leave it at that. I thought the score in this film was brilliant. So much so I think I would buy it.
Wow. So, I mean, don't be surprised if among other things, of course, you see this movie, maybe Oscar or some other awards nominated, maybe for sound or other technical elements, along with other kinds of elements.
Definitely. All right. So we're almost there, but we are going to discuss one important aspect of this film, and that is the love connection between Paul and Shawnee.
Ooh.
Shawnee.
Do you want to get into spoiler territory with this or not?
Okay, well, first let's wrap up this spoiler-free movie reaction, so I guess we can go into our ratings now.
Okay, and then we'll circle back to that, because she has been wanting to talk about this for so long. Okay, so Victoria, tell us in the audience of what rating you would give this movie.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would have to give this movie a 9.7.
Your
yes.
decimals every time these decimals.
It's hard to just give it one number, okay?
Oh my
These
gosh,
movies.
these decimals. That's what gets me every time you add these decimals.
I am so big on movies, Jeffrey, that it is hard to just judge them on just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's hard to do that. But either way, maybe if you do a reaction one day, we'll see what your rating score is.
Yeah,
like.
it's just gonna be like A, B, C, D, E, F, E. No, I'm just kidding.
But either way, so yeah, I love this film, and I definitely would see it again in IMAX.
In IMAX this time, she gotta make sure she got the big screen that'll pop her eyeballs out.
Oh yes, and also just the story was definitely intriguing enough that it didn't lose me. I definitely felt like I was into it, and the characters very interesting and definitely Shakespearean-like in more ways than one, while trying to keep it, to what their vision is of the characters.
Yeah,
So,
Space Shakespeare. You didn't know it.
Space Shakespeare's, or how could I say, more like Desert Shakespeare, Desert Star Wars, Desert Lion King. Well,
I mean, Star Wars, it's Space Shakespeare too. So
yeah.
Yeah, but okay. Wow, look at that high rating. I feel like that may be higher than the first one.
Yeah, it kind of was. But either way, what would your rating be for this, Jeffrey?
Okay, somewhere between an 8 and a 9. We'll say an 8.7 because you love decimals so much. I don't know, 8.7.
Well, that is awesome. That's actually a pretty good score. I was thinking you were going to be a hard judge on this one.
I mean, yeah, maybe on a different day I'll give it like a 7.8, but like the lowest I would go is down to a 7, but I would say 8, between 8 and 9.
Yeah. So there's our spoiler-free movie reaction.
Woo!
Yay! We got through it. If you enjoyed this spoiler-free movie reaction, please leave a like, and if you can, share it with another person. And if you have any thoughts on the film, spoiler-free of course, then please leave it in the comment section below. But soon enough, it will be also spoiler talk as well, because we're going to be getting into a spoiler reaction. So, yay! So let's get to it, shall we?
Okay.